guys like more videos like this, don't forget to drop a like, comment, subscribe, and let's jump straight into it. Alright, so we're going to be breaking down the High Compression Rasengan by Boruto in episode 171 of Boruto. But before we get into the High Compression Rasengan itself, it's essential that we actually go over what the Rasengan is in and of itself. It's basically a technique that was developed by Minato, the 4th Hokage, over, I believe it was a 3-year period, I think. Essentially modeled after the tailed beast ball of the Nine Tails and the other tailed beasts, more specifically the Nine Tails. And it is like a wind chakra nature, and all the power of it essentially comes from the rotation of it. Now, we've seen Naruto with several different versions of this before, like magnet style, you know, Rasen Shuriken, normal Rasengan. He's got a bunch of different variations of this. The giant Rasengan barrages, all that good stuff. But he, aside from these types, he hasn't really messed with it too much. I mean, something kind of interesting is that Boruto doesn't seem to be touching too much upon the Rasengans that his dad already has. He seems to be kind of making it his own and kind of changing the jutsu to fit him, which is kind of interesting when you look at it. When you look at his wind style Rasengan, it doesn't really look like the Rasen Shuriken from his dad, right? It's like literally like a green Rasengan. Even if you look at all of Naruto's Rasengans combined, there's nothing even kind of close to that. It does have a little Saturn look with the ring, kind of similar, I guess you could say, to the Rasen Shuriken, but whereas that one actually looks more like a Shuriken. It's very unique. And then we have of course, the High Compression Rasengan, which looks in essence very similar to the original Rasengan, but as Boruto is fighting an inmate, he uses the wind style Rasengan, the green with the rings, and it doesn't seem to do any damage. He uses another wind style jutsu to counter it. I believe there's some sort of shield, but and then when Boruto uses High Compression Rasengan, it kind of phases right through the wind style shield. Now this is kind of huge, as it kind of shows that Boruto might be able to, in the future, incorporate high compression into all his Rasengan variations. Maybe like a high compression wind style Rasengan, he might be able to mix these together, which can probably bypass some strong defenses or armor that Naruto's necessarily couldn't have, really, because the High Compression Rasengan basically, like the name states, it compresses it to its smallest state, and it's able to go through different jutsus much easier than previously. Now, we don't know the exact extent of this, especially since it's such a new ability, but it'd be really cool to see this in the future, especially if it can get past, like, say, for example, like Gaara's defenses with his sand. If it could condense to the point where it can get through that without necessarily puncturing it, that would be awesome. But this is a very huge development in the Boruto community, whereas Boruto might be building upon this jutsu. Now, obviously, we only saw this in one episode, so we can't really say too much about it, but we do know that he's vastly expanding his arsenal at a very, very fast rate compared to his father. As you see that he's, like, you know, the Vanishing Rasengan already. Here he has the High Compression one and Wind Style Rasengan. He's obviously going to develop a few more and kind of master these ones as time goes by, so I guess we can only wait, and we'll see what he does next. If you guys like, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.